I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
I think I can help.
Help? Help me? You're an amateur. I don't even know what you're doing here. What are you doing? Looking for Desire?
Desire?
That's her name. Didn't you know that? Do you know how old she is? How long she's survived? How many victims she's claimed? Nothing. You know nothing. And you're gonna deal with her. You're gonna destroy her. Tell me, David, are you a righteous man? You offer me help, you're a child. A vampire has no power over a righteous man. You know that, don't you? No. How could you know that? Temporal men should not hunt vampires. Do you know why? Because she'll find a crack in your armor, a hairline split, and that's all she needs to seduce you, to penetrate your soul. And once she does, you're hers forever, my friend, for eternity. These donuts are stale, too. I hate coffee shops.
Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video. There's another paid request, this time from Chris Rogers. Thank you so much for that. And if anyone's interested in sending any paid requests for pretty much any type of video, I'll get to it as soon as I can. You just send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. Now, this is for a film that I'd never heard of, called Desire the Vampire, also known as I Desire. It's a 1982 TV movie, and because it's a TV movie from the early 80s, the 70s, if you're going into this for gore, action, you're not getting that. I will say, though, this does have a sort of a feel of the old Kolchak the Night Stalker, which made sense because the same person that directed the first TV movie, The Night Stalker, same person directed this. Only this time you have David Naughton from American Wolf in London. He's the star, where he's a student, but he also works as a coroner's assistant. And one day he's working, and these bodies come in that have been drained of blood. And he's wondering, like, what the hell's going on here? He's got a girlfriend. Someone wants to see the body. It's someone in a priest uniform, and it's Brad Dourif. Yes. So, wow, you got David Naughton from American Wolf in London, and you got Brad Dourif from Exorcist 3, the voice of Chucky in the Child's Play films. Two good actors. Brad Dourif is checking the body out. David Naughton comes back. Brad Dourif disappears. It's like, what the hell? Talks to a cop, and the cop is Dorian Harewood, who I like as an actor. Now, if you don't know who that is, the two films you may remember him from, he's one of the soldiers in the second act of Full Metal Jacket. He's also the agent in Sudden Death, the Jean-Claude Van Damme film. He's the agent. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Sudden Death. Well, he's the agent outside talking with Van Damme, and also he gets inside with Van Damme. You know, was it FBI agent or was it CIA? I can't remember. He's an agent. Well, I guess I won't spoil that part, but it was cool to see him as the cop, and he has some nice moments of dialogue with David Naughton. They have some pretty decent back and forth. For example, they're both talking, they both quote Mick Jagger. Thought that was, the dialogue wasn't too bad. And the film itself, like I said, has a decent atmosphere. Like I said, if you like the old school Kolchak the Night Stalker feel to it, where it has that 80s, 70s moodiness, atmosphere, and obviously because of TV limitations and because of budget, you're not going to see a whole lot of stuff, but there's some decent moments where this vampire, actually a female vampire, is either throwing David Naughton around or jumping through windows, or it does feel like you could just plug in Kolchak, Darren McGavin, and just fit perfectly in it. It has that mood and atmosphere, and David Naughton gets obsessed with this. He just starts wondering, is it a vampire? Like, he's reading vampire books. His girlfriend's like, stop obsessing over this. And has talks with Dorian Harewood, who tells him about these weird things, and he can't quite explain it. Some problems I have with it, I do wish there was a lot more Brad Dourif. I like David Naughton. He does a good job. He has that affable, easygoing, likable quality to it that he showed in American Werewolf in London. I thought he also showed it here. And it's interesting. Werewolf in 81, then this in 82, a vampire story. Of course, in a way, I guess you could say, despite, I thought American Werewolf in London was successful, but then, like, the next part he gets is a TV movie. But, I mean, because back in the day, especially, Hollywood and such looked down at TV and TV movies, even though there was some good stuff back then, but they kind of looked down on it as if, well, if you'd worked in TV. Nowadays, that's quite the opposite. But I was saying with Brad Dourif, he's not in it as much as I hoped. And that's disappointing. I would say that's the biggest disappointment with the film. Is, there's Brad Dourif. I'm a big fan. I think he's one of the most underrated actors out there. If someone said, what are your favorite actors that are unheard or unsung? Brad Dourif is up there. Because to me, when he shows up, he knocks out of the park, whether it be even something like Stephen King's Graveyard Shift. Body Parts. These films that some people might not have heard of, but he knocks it out of the park. And I wish there were movies that he got to star in as the good guy lead. Spontaneous Combustion could have been good, but then where it went and the low production value as missed opportunities, Spontaneous Combustion. But I like David Naughton, but it would have been interesting to have Brad Dourif as the lead. Or if the movie was him and Brad Dourif teaming up, kind of like a precursor to Fright Night, and like the two of them have to find this vampire and work with each other. Or even Dorian Harewood I liked. It's like, okay, or the three of them. I wanted to see more of Brad Dourif, or even Dorian Harewood in it. And you see more Dorian than Brad Dourif. I just really enjoy it. I thought the best scene is when they talk in this cafe and Brad Dourif is telling about the rules and the ideals of a vampire. Like, don't you? You won't be free of that knowledge. You lost your innocence. The vampires have no power over a righteous man. Just what they do is they find a crack. They find a crack in you, and they seduce your soul. Just Brad Dourif knows how to fucking sell those lines and dialogue with conviction, intensity, and believability. Like, this guy believes in what he's saying. It could be as ridiculous or silly or crazy as it is. In Graveyard Shift, he sells a story about being in Vietnam and why he hates rats. And he fucking sold it with a fucking tear coming out of his eye. In this, he sells it like this is a guy that believes and knows vampires exist. And if I don't forget, I'll put maybe a clip at the beginning, if I don't forget. But again, I wish he was in it more. When he's there, he makes it work. Like I said, David Naughton is likable. The rest of the movie, like I said, there's little bits of action, like the vampire in the hospital, certain little attack scenes. Like I said, if you've seen a Kolchak Night Stalker episode or the TV movie, that's the kind of action you get. Very few and far in between. But yeah, the acting was good. The pacing I thought was fine. Like I said, the actors I liked. The girlfriend was there. She wasn't annoying. She was fine. The vampire, the female, hot to trot, did well. I forget the actress's name. It's for free on YouTube. You feel free to check it out. Like I said, if you like vampire stories, or if you like the Kolchak type of... I did, from the same director who did the first Night Stalker TV movie. David Naughton, always nice to see Brad Dourif in there. Dorian Harewood was good. Not a bad film, not a bad TV movie. They did more into spoilers. 3, 2, 1, starting now. With spoilers. Another thing I liked about the film is the idea introduced where a vampire won't attack you too much if you're a righteous man. Because there's a point early on that she's attacking David Naughton and she's not biting him, and you're wondering, why is she not biting him? She doesn't. She jumps out the window. And then Brad Dourif explains later, if you're a righteous man, the deal that vampire has no power over it. So when he gets to the third act and he's in the vampire, her home, he'll get across and be like, I'm a righteous man, I'm a righteous man. I would say, like I said, you go into this knowing it's a 1982 TV movie. Don't expect gore, don't expect action. It's not that type of movie, so I knew that. Yeah, I was fine with the story. Being a fan. Oh, by the way, I heard that Kolchak the Night Stalker TV show is getting a Blu-ray for this upcoming Halloween. Like the TV shows get a Blu-ray, which is great. Because to see those episodes remastered, being a big fan of that, definitely looking forward to that. Thank you. I think it's Tino Lorber doing it. So I didn't tell my friend Michael, because I know he's a big fan of it, but that's cool. But what I was saying, other than Brad Dourif not being in it much, the other disappointment, I thought the finale could have been better. Because, long story short, he's seduced by this lady, because by the point the girlfriend has left him. He kind of knows something's up, so he goes upstairs to use the restroom, looks around, finds Brad Dourif dead, grabs his cross, pushes her back. There's a decent bit where she jumps through this glass, tries to attack him. They lead to like the balcony. She jumps at him. He moves out of the way. She does, ah. Now, maybe it's because of the video quality. It's not HD or anything. How did she die by falling off? Was she staked? after she fell. The camera does push in on her, but I did not see like a state. Is that what happened? Because I'm like, how is she dead? Like a van. Earlier, she has jumped from high points of height. I imagine she landed on something. She was staked. But I know it's a TV movie, but an up-close shot would have been very nice for that bit. Because I couldn't tell if she was staked or not because of her falling. I think that could have been done a bit better. Yeah, maybe it's the quality that I saw that's on YouTube. I don't know what to tell you. And then Brad Dourif's a vampire, and it's not even a fight. It's like 10 seconds. David Naughton grabs something. Brad Dourif jumps, cuts away. You get the idea that after jumping, got impaled. And then the ending, like the way it ends, where everything's fine. Dorian Harewood's like, give me your statement. I'm going to change it so it's not a vampire, because otherwise they're going to put you in jail, and people don't think you're crazy. And David Naughton's like, well, that's the truth. Yeah, but, they're not going to believe you. Tough titty. So he's like, okay, does that. But then David Naughton and the girlfriend walking out, and then there's another vampire, like a guy. I don't even remember who the fuck that guy was. I'm sure it's a guy I've seen before, but I completely forgot who the fuck that was. Might have been one of the previous victims, and he turned... I forget. I'm sure I should have paid attention more to that, but I'm like, why are you having like a little sequel bait ending? Like, why? I don't know why. I don't think that was needed. Cause a lot of times filmmakers do that because they just go be, oh my god, you're scared. I'm like, no, I was more confused. Like, huh? There's another vampire? Like, who's this guy? I don't know. It just wasn't needed. Like Cold Chat, they didn't do that. Night Stalker and the Night Strangler, they didn't do that. One of the many reasons why that was successful. I appreciate that. I don't know why they did with this, but I don't know. So those two, the finale and not enough Brad Dourif, those are my issues. Other than that, like I said, if you're a fan of the Cold Chat type of stuff, you like 80s TV movies, you like that certain atmosphere, vampire type of story, feel free to give it a look. Feel free. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.